Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachiketa Secha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. The question that Nachiketa asked earlier in rather vague terms, now he asks it very, very clearly. He says, "O Lord, please reveal to me that truth which is beyond dharma and adharma, beyond the cause and effect, and beyond the three periods of time. I know that you directly see it. So what you see, that please reveal to me." When Nachiketa said that, Bhagavan said, "Here you are. Sarve Veda Yat Padamamananti Tapamsi Sarvani Jayad Vadanti Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimyomityadat." He said, Sarve Veda Yat Padamamananti. That Padam, Pada word means that which is reached, which can be reached, which we want to reach, that Padam, that goal. In the world, we find some people want to reach Rashtrapati Padam, the chair, the post of the president, or in the heavens called Indra Padam, ityadi. Bhagavan Shankaracharya said in other text, Brahma Padam Tvam Pravisha Viditva. You should realize your Brahma Padam is Brahma Swarupam. All other posts are such that you have to vacate. But here this Padam is such, which is your own nature. No one can ask you to vacate it. So that Padam, Swarupam Ityartha. Sarve Veda Amananti. All the Vedas, Amananti means they proclaim, declare, indicate. Vedaha, see in the Vedas there is a Karma Kand, Upasana and Jnana Kand, which is called the Upanishads. Since this Brahma Vidya is the topic of the Upanishads, so here when we say Sarve Veda means Upanishadaha, all the Upanishads. So that Padam, that goal which is indicated, revealed by all these Upanishads, Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi. That goal I shall tell you, Sangrahena briefly. In one breath he says, Bravimi Om Yatyatat. Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimyot. Now I find it difficult. Bravimi Om Yatyatat. See, the similar shloka is there in the Bhagavad Gita also in the 8th chapter. But Lord Sri Krishna takes some breath there. He says, Tatte Padam Sangrahena Pravakshe. First he says, I will tell you that. Then in the next shloka only he says that. But this was Brahmimyom Ityetat. So that goal is indicated by this sound symbol called Om. And the other Upanishad says, Om iti Brahma. This Om is Brahman. So the truth which you want to know, which is beyond dharma, adharma, cause and effect, and anyat trikala titam, that which is beyond 3 periods of time, that is Brahman. Brahma itself means the infinite. And it is indicated by the word Om. This is the absolute truth. And this is the truth, tapamsi sarvani cha yad vadanti. In order to gain, reach, know this truth, the scriptures, the teachers, they point out many austerities, many forms of austerities. Because tapas is that, tapasa kalmasham hanti. Tapa is a means of purification of mind. In order to know this truth, mind has to be purified. And these austerities which are indicated at the physical level, worshipping, respecting great people, at the oral level, verbal speech level, to speak truth, etc., hitakaram vakyam. Manasa, at the mind level, cheerfulness of mind, the purity of intentions, all the various tapas, they are pointed out. In the Bhagavad Gita, if you read the 17th chapter, you will see more of that. So, the various austerities or penance that are indicated, prescribed by all the scriptures or teachers, they are meant only for knowing this truth. Otherwise, we may wonder, why should I go on fasting? Why should I do this penance? It is not inflicting pain on yourself. Actually, it is a means of purification of mind, which is necessary for knowing this truth. So, tapansi sarvani cha yad vadanti, vadanti, all scriptures speak of this. Next is yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti, desiring which state or knowledge of this truth, the great seekers live the life of brahmacharya. Brahmacharya. You see, somehow in the world of spirituality, certain words are quite frightening to people. When they hear about tapas, penance, austerity, sannyas, renunciation, sacrifice, and the most frightening word is brahmacharya. Because brahmacharya, many times it is translated as celibacy. And the attraction between man and woman is so strong, then at that time with the word celibacy used, that frightens people. But you must understand what exactly it means. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Gurukula Vasa Lakshanam, athva, any other vow that we take to realize Brahman is called Brahmacharya Vrat. You see, a vow that is followed by a brahmachari is called brahmacharya. Or who is a brahmachari? You know, in the world, someone who is a bachelor, not yet married, they say he is a brahmachari. He is only a bachelor. He is not yet married. Because nobody was ready to marry him, maybe. Whatever is that. But that's not what is the meaning here. Brahmani charitum shilam asya iti brahmachari. The one whose great inclination, aptitude, longing is for knowing Brahman and living and reveling in that Brahman. And that Brahman is Satyam, Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That means truth, the absolute truth. Therefore, A brahmachari should be, that word should be translated as a seeker of truth, who has seen all the worldly things that we found in case of Nachiketa. He has seen that the whole world, what it is, what it can offer, and this is not what I want. I want to know what the absolute truth is. That seeker of truth is called brahmachari. Now, in olden days, or even now also, those who are the seekers of truth, they go to the ashrams, they live with the teacher, Gurukula. That's our Pujya Guru that started Kathopanishad also, is a Gurukula only. Gurukula Vasaha, living in that Gurukul with the Guru, serving the teacher as the teacher wants, not as what you want. Serving the teacher, studying the scriptures from him, whatever instructions are given that to be followed, of all disciplines at all levels, at the physical, mental, all levels, sense organs level, one of the aspect is called the celibacy. So then that's called brahmacharya vratam. So one aspect of that vratam is to gain mastery over the senses and mind, and the other aspect is to know what that Brahman is, and that Brahma is your own Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa, and to revel in that. That is actually really called brahmacharya vratam. So yadichanto, desiring which, that Brahmapadam, great seekers follow, observe this life of brahmacharya. We find that many were very young students, like here we find Nachiketa, but even others also were there. If you read the life of Bhagavan Shankaracharya also, they lived this life. Then there were householders. Even they were great seekers of knowledge. They also lived that life. Then you find some people in the old age also, because the seekers of knowledge can be in any age. A brahmachari, grihastha, vanprastha, he can be sannyasi. We find in the Puranas, there are many great emperors, Samrat, Chakravartis also. A time came in their life and they said, now enough is enough. They handed over the charge to their prince, Rajkumar, and they just walked away. Who lived in so much as luxury and prosperity, and they also did tapas. They also went to some guru and learned. The Brahma Vidya is such, it immediately does not fascinate people whose minds are engrossed in the world. But when it attracts, there afterwards there is no going back. They are ready to do anything. Guru Seva, Shastra Adhyanam, all tapas, yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti, tatte padam sangrahena bravimi. And that I shall tell you very briefly. And how briefly? Only one verse. About this Omkar, you will find in the Mandukya Upanishad, also in Taittiriya Upanishad, Prashnopanishad, more and more elaboration that is given there. But here, only once this sound, which is very popular, famous, well known, and this Om is known by the word Pranavaha. Pranava. Now what is this Om? In the next mantra, see what is said. etadyevaksharam brahma, etadyevaksharam param, etadyevaksharam jnatva yo yadichyati tasya tat. It is said, this Om indicates, denotes Brahman, which is the absolute truth of this world. Now we have to read the whole Upanishad where the Swarupa will be revealed. So first only name is given. Suppose somebody asks, which is the holiest river of India? What you will say? Only name only you will tell, isn't it? Or Holy Mother Ganga. Then you want to know what Ganga is? Then there is so much to say. But first only you will tell the name. Here also only just Om is said. Om is the name, Vachaka of that Brahman. Then the Upanishad only says, this Brahman, the absolute reality, has two aspects. One aspect is, that is which is free from all names, forms, qualities, attribute, properties. It is called Nirguna, Nirakar, Nirvishesh, nameless, formless, attributeless. That is the aspect of it. And the same reality only appears with all these names and forms, then it is called as Saguna, Sakar, Brahma. Two aspects are Dvividham. Not that there are two Brahman. Only one and same, the formless, only with the association with names and forms which manifest from itself only, is called as Saguna. Like what? Like, take a piece of gold. If you look at the gold only, there is a gold only. Then from that gold so many ornaments are made. So many forms are there, so many names are also there. Even when it appears as names and forms, the truth of that is only gold. It is not gone anywhere else. So one is called formless Suvarna, gold, no particular form. And with forms, two aspects. So here also the Brahman, in its absolute nature, status, free from all these Nama, Rupatmak, Jagat, and the same appears as, this is called as Saguna, Sakar, Savishesh, Brahma. In other words, the supreme in its own nature is called Parabrahma, beyond all limitation. And other is called Aparabrahma. Now, he says this Om represents both these aspects. Etadhi eva aksharam brahma, etadhi aksharam param. This monosyllable is called Om, Ekakshara, Brahma, etad aksharam. This sound, Om, is Saguna Brahma, Apara Brahma, and this itself is Parabrahma. It indicates both. Etadi aksharam jnatva, and the one who understands both these aspects. But then the choice is given to you. Which is that you want to know, follow? Then yo yadichati tasya tat. Then that person, yo yadichati, he whosoever he may be, he who desires what? He gets that. Suppose somebody, the idea is only about the Brahman, the truth, the God with form and all that, then he must worship upasana. That's why Bhagavan Bhashyaka has said a beautiful sentence which is very famous. Param ched jnatavyam, aparam ched dhyatavyam, upasitavyam. If he is a Parabrahma Paramatma, Nirgun Nirakar, then it is only has to be realized as one's own self. It is to be known. And aparam chet, then dhyatavyam, upasitavyam, praptavyam is to be gained. Both the aspects are there. Now, see, in this Om itself, there are two aspects. Because when you utter the sound, this utterance is a sound. But when the utterance is completed, then what is there? Silence. There is no sound. The Om itself is constituted of A plus U plus Ma. Om. So when this sound is pronounced, then this sound represents Saguna Brahma. And when it is silence, earlier there was silence only, remember. From silence only the sound comes, and again it gets dissolved into that silence. So that Pura Brahma alone is there. From that only all names and forms come, and they dissolve in that only. Simple? Yeah. If you see, so many things, so they will have two aspects like I told you the gold and ornament. And let us see the example of fire also. Fire also has two aspects. One is only called the heat, and the other is called flames. Generally, whenever we hear the word fire, we always think of flames. The flames, that is a manifest aspect. Even if flames are put out, the heat aspect still remains there. Om. That's why I said this aksharam, it represents the manifest, and when the silence, amatra it is called, no uma there, then that is nirgunam. Both these are indicated. And that's why Om is considered as the base support for worship or meditation. Meditation on the absolute or worshipping the sound. That's why the word pranava is very beautifully explained as pranava word comes from nu dhatu, to worship, to prostrate, all that. Prakarshena nuyate stuyate atma ishta devatava iti pranava. The pranava Om is that sound with the help of which you can meditate on the absolute Brahman or your own chosen deity of your heart, the Saguna also. Pranava. Om. That's why in the next mantra he says, Etad alambanam shreshtham, Etad alambanam param, Etad alambanam jnatva, Brahmaloke mahiyate. Etad alambanam shreshtham. This alambanam is support. The support of Om is great, great support. And etad alambanam param, it is supreme, because we already seen it represents both. Therefore, etad alambanam jnatva Brahmaloke mahiyate. The one who knows this alambana of support, takes the help of it, then he attains greatness in Brahmaloka. Now here earlier mantra it was said, Yo yadichati tasya tat. The Omkar is such a beautiful vehicle. With the help of you can reach anywhere. Like in the world you will find a flight, direct non-stop flight. Now they are closed at the moment. But otherwise, so one flight from Mumbai to New York is called direct non-stop flight. Go straight. Right? Some peculiar sentence once I read. One man said, I am very scared of traveling by this non-stop flight because it will not stop. It will go on and on and on. Well, it's called a silly joke, a not very great joke. Mumbai to New York. So directly we will go there. The other flight is called a hopping flight. This aeroplane, it will fly from Mumbai, land at London, and then fly. Same plane. Right? So, yo yadichati tasya tat. If somebody wants to go only up to London, go bhaiya. Same plane. Get down there. Someone to continue the journey. Remain there only. It will take you there. In the same way, the Om. Wonderful airplane. I bought a ticket for Sagun Brahma. Okay. We are landing at Sagun Brahma. Get out. No. Then go there. Etad alambanam shreshtam. Etad alambanam param. Etad alambanam jnatva. Brahmaloke mahiyate. Now this word also should be understood. If someone with the help of Omkara is worshipping the manifest Saguna aspect, then Brahmaloka means by his upasana and all that he will go to the world of Brahmaji, the creator. And then he will rejoice. But the one who understands Omkara as Parabrahma, then Brahmaloka means not Brahmanaha lokaha, not the world of Brahman. Brahmaiva lokaha, Brahmalokaha. Then for him, Brahman itself is the loka because directly experienced, realized. And Mahiyate means what? He is liberated. So, Brahmaloka has got two meanings. One is the world of Brahma, Brahmaji, the creator. And one is called Brahman itself as your own Swarupa. So, if you worship the Saguna Brahma, then you go to the world of Brahma, greatness achieved. But if you know the Nirguna as your own Swarupa, Mahiyatami, you are liberated. That's all. This is Om. So now, direct answer is given to this Nachiketa only in terms of giving the name of such a reality. That Nachiketa, such a reality is there and it is indicated by the word Om. Om is that reality. Just I said, which is the holiest river, then we say Ganga, Gangaji. But then you have to speak more about that. So now what is this Parabrahma? Because the topic of the Upanishads more is a Parabrahma. So that will be now revealed in the following mantras. Now we should be ready. Ready to listen to the great revelations, great truth. And you will find the mantras echoing even in the Bhagavad Gita also. We'll see one by one. Tomorrow we'll see the most famous mantra. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.